Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and in this video here we're going to be talking about the Lernean Hydra farming location in Titan Quest. So where you see me start right here at that rebirth fountain, this is the closest one to the Hydra that we want to kill. And you'll find the rebirth fountain in the monster encampment, but the Hydra is in Athens Marsh, which is right here just to the south of the monster encampment. The closest portal to this location in general is going to be Athens. You're going to basically port to Athens and then backtrack a little bit through the monster encampment, through the little battlefield area until you get to the Athens Marsh, and then you'll find the Hydra right in here. So this is the Hydra right here. And he only spawns on legendary difficulty, that's worth noting, and he's one of the super bosses of the anniversary edition, I think. I do not think that the original version of the game will have this Hydra in it, but I could be mistaken. I'm fairly certain that he was only added in during the anniversary version of the game. So, as you can see, the fight is pretty straightforward. I'm a little bit overpowered, so it's going to be a little easier for me than it is for you guys, because I'm a ritualist and my character is like OP as all hell. Up to you if you want to open these primitive chests around the outskirts. I do, because I was in the middle of making a video and not thinking about what I'm doing, so I open them. And essentially, this is going to be your rotation right here. Log out, log back in, start at the rebirth fountain, and run back to the Hydra. So, now I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the Hydra himself. The resistances you need are fire, poison, cold, and vitality. I would say fire might be the most. It depends on what you are, really. If you're ranged or if you're melee, because if you're ranged, you're going to be getting hit by the breaths occasionally. If you are melee, he won't use his breaths, as you've seen when I fought him with the Ritualist, because he doesn't use them when somebody's in melee with him. So let me see if I can actually bait out the breaths here and show you a little bit. So there you go. He's casting, there's his poison breath. Frost breath, and notice how he doesn't actually, and there's the fire breath. So there's his 3 breaths, and notice how he doesn't use any of them unless I'm far enough away. Like if we just chill in melee range here, that's because he started the breath when I was outside of melee range, but if we just chill in melee range right here, you'll notice that he doesn't use the breaths on me. That was a big, that was an attack that he just did right there, which was super bite, I think. That. Notice, it does a heavy amount of physical and pierce damage, and then it puts a poison damage dot on me, which is what you've seen that I had to actually pop for. The actual bite itself, I didn't have to potion for though, because I have a lot of pierce res and a lot of physical res, more so than most. Not the worst ring in the world. As you can see how it's a level 55 ring. That's like one of the highest level rings you can possibly get. And that brings us to the reason that this location is actually worth doing in the first place. This Hydra, oops, clicked the wrong button. This Hydra drops some of the best gear in the game because he has access to the best loot tables in the entire game. This location right here is one of the best farming locations in the game, or one of the most common farming locations in the game, I guess you could call it. And that is for this very reason, because this Hydra has access to some of the biggest and bestest loot tables in the entire game. He's also easy to kill if you are playing a class that is good enough, or a build that is good enough, rather. My Ritualist, like I said before, is quite overpowered, so she doesn't have any trouble whatsoever with this mob. And if you're going to be meleeing the mob, I would say physical and pierce are probably the most important resistances, and poison that you can get, because the super bite does pierce and physical damage, and then it also applies a poison dot. So if you can eat the damage from the bite and then basically have enough, that's a pretty good haul right there, and then have enough poison res to counteract the dot, you'll be pretty safe. And at the start of this run, all you really need to do is from Athens, run out to this rebirth fountain, set this rebirth fountain as where you'll be, as your rebirth fountain, for lack of better words, respawn point. And then you just basically run down to the Hydra, kill it, and then you just keep killing the Hydra, reset game like I've been doing this entire time. Very tedious, very monotonous, but as are almost all farming routes in these sorts of games. It's worth noting too that with the addition of Titan Quest Atlantis, it's actually better to farm the Orb Merchant in Gadir than it is to farm a boss like this. Or rather, you farm a boss like this until you get a bunch of gold, and then you go to Gadir and you dump it all in the Transmuter Merchant, and then basically you call it a day from that point. I feel like my attacks aren't hitting him. He just has a ton of HP. Grab the primitive chest again since we had luck the first time with them. We'll do one more run and then I will end the video, since I'm pretty sure you guys get what I'm getting at. It's worth noting too that if you would like additional information on this Hydra, or if you would just like to see this guide in a written format, please check out my website, almarsguides.com. I have this farming location as well as basically every other farming location in Titan Quest on my website, as well as walkthroughs for every quest and a whole bunch of different builds. So keep that in mind. It's a great source of information if you're a new player just starting out, or even a veteran that would like to learn a few things or forgotten a few things. And keep in mind, for my build guides, I am not perfect and I'm not a min-maxer, so my build guides aren't perfection. They are more of a like general, here's what you can do sort of thing, not what you should do. What you should do is experiment and figure out what works best for your playstyle. There you go. Mr. Hydra dead again. I don't think I've ever gotten that shield before either. Let me see the graphic. No, I don't think I have. I've definitely gotten the Abyssal shield before. But that's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys around the next video. Peace.